All right, people. So, for those of y'all that don't know, we got the legendary Wild Bill in the building. You know?
Yeah, I'm back. Second go around, you know what I'm saying? I like to say peace and respect to all the brothers out there, all the people that pay respect to the brother Hassan, you know what I'm saying? May you and your family be blessed and stay blessed.
So Bill, right? I wanted to give people the ugly side of prison. There's so many, it's so many, like, when I listen to some of the jail stories or whatever the case may be, it's like a badge of honor to go to jail. And we both know that there's more to being in jail than just running around, oh, I just cut this one, I cut that one. Like, no, it gets really, really, really ugly. I want to take them down. It's just, you know, through some of the horror stories of the things that you experience being in jail, the box, the state, the federal penitentiary, the COs. That's what I want to get into. Like the COs. Tell me some of the stories about the horrors that you done seen with the COs in the penitentiary and how they treat the inmates. As a matter of fact, right? Is it true that they dug up the gym inside the jail and found inmates?
Yeah, that's going back. That was in Clinton. That was in like the late 90s. You know, they dug up the gym floor in Clinton. That's Denham Mall. That's where Tupac started the war at, or was about to start a riot. Not a war, he was about to start a riot. And that's when they put Tupac in PC. You know, but that jail alone right there, the warden used to walk around with a gun on his waist and a Rottweiler with his whole team around him. And they wasn't playing no games. Me being in that jail, when I got that jail years later, they were still killing people in there. Them police wasn't playing games. The people would come up on a weekend to visit you and stay in little motels. They was running in them hotels or them motels, whatever, kicking the door, raping people, visitors and all that. That was like, yo, people didn't even want to come up there and visit their family because of what the police was doing. And it was all family. And like I said, they didn't care nothing about the inmates. They were still killing us in the 2000s. They were still killing us.
Hold on. Let's slow it down for a second. So you saying that people family, how long is that ride going to Clinton?
The ride is like maybe an 8 to 10 hour ride. It all depends how many stops they take going up there, but that's still a mission. If you go to visit somebody in Clinton, you might as well just cancel your whole weekend. You go on a Friday, you leave Friday night, you visit your people on a Saturday, you ain't getting home till Saturday midnight, sometime like that. So now your weekend is done. Only thing you want to do is rest up Sunday so you could go to work on Monday. You know, that was the burden on a lot of people. So I respect all them females that was taking them trips, including my wife, taking them 8-hour trip, coming up there and taking a chance because they wasn't safe going up there. You know what I'm saying? Coming to visit inmates because anything could have happened to them. Let that bus break down in one of them towns up there. Them white people was very racist. I'm not trying to start nothing, but they was racist up there at the time. It was like, yo, nobody was safe.
Like, listen, I need for y'all to understand something, right? We gonna paint this picture. I wanna paint this Picasso to make y'all understand. If you listen to the brother, we're gonna rewind a little bit. So you basically saying that for your family to stay at a hotel in those towns, the COs would do what?
They were coming in, breaking them hotels, or get a key card because their family probably run the hotel, and they come and rape your visitors, your family. Nobody was safe. It was happening up there. You know, I don't know if people heard the story. I don't know if this is going to open up something and start some type of controversy. I hope it don't. But this was the thing that was happening in the 90s.
Now, I hope it do, because awareness, it's like, okay, now that we have platforms where we could bring awareness to this, it'll stop them COs from playing them games, because then it'll get people like the FBI in on it, especially because it's like, okay, how do you go to you go to visit, and this is what you put your family through when you go to jail, because on the internet, dudes make it seem like It's just the most beautiful thing. So you got your family going to the jail. They're going to get on a bus for 8 hours. And most of the time, you're going through those towns in upstate New York where it's snow up to your neck. You stay in a hotel. The correction officers are related. That's the uncle, cousin, nephew, they're related. Incest. They all related. So now, the judge is related to the mailman, the CEO. Everybody's related in the town. People don't understand. When you go to those small towns, right? The thing that keeps those towns afloat is you being locked up. So
let me cut you off there. Let me tell you how bad it is, right? I was in Clinton. It was a black officer that came there training, and he was trained to be a lieutenant, right? And the process of him training for being a lieutenant, them COs there, because their fathers is captains and uncles is captains, whatever the case may be, they ran the black CO out there. He didn't even want to be there. He was training. He was already a CO, training to become a lieutenant, and you got to go to different jail when you train to become a higher ranking officer before you go to your home jail or jail you signed up for. And he wasn't from up there. He was an outsider, and they gave him a hard time, and he was one of them. So it wasn't even the honor of the badge. You know what I'm saying? They on some family, white power stuff, you know? And, yo, that's not the place you want to be at all. Like I said, I was there, and like 2 or 3 people got murdered while I was in the prison, you know? And they just sweep it right under the rug. And this is after they found the bodies in the gym.
But hold up. So being in the jail, right? The dudes' families that go through this in the hotels coming up there, either getting violated at the hotels or violated because some of these COs now will pull your family out, your wife out, and want them to strip down in order for you to see them.
Yeah, that happens too. They violate your people because they say, well, we need to strip you to see if you're bringing drugs in. If you're not bringing drugs in the jail, contraband in the jail, you shouldn't have no problem with us stripping you. And that violates all their rights. But they love you, and they like, I done came all the way up here. I done got a package. I done did all this. Well, Clint, you can't get no packages, right? But I done went through all this trial and tribulation to get up there. Well, they just give him like, all right, I'm gonna let you strip search me, and they get their rocks off of that right there, you know. And putting your family, making your people feel this big. They belittle you. And it's like, they not locked up, I'm locked up. Why are you doing that to my family? And if their family tell you and you try to approach them, ain't nothing good again. You ain't going to get nothing good out there. You're going to cause more problems to yourself. You know, it's ugly up there. It's ugly in the mountains.
Wow. So, like, how do you handle a situation like that when your family is violated by the correction? Or is there anything that you could do, or you just ass out of luck?
You pretty much ass out of luck. But what some people do, they wait till they leave the jail and then try to write grievances and get at them like that, because as long as you in the jail, you're not safe.
So now your family basically going home and writing those grievances could lead up to you getting your ass whipped.
Your ass whipped could lead you getting killed. You know, right now it's a little different because they got all the internet and you got these locational inmates, but before they used to lose you. They say you in this jail, that jail, this jail, you be lost in the system and you be dead somewhere, you know? That was like a common thing back in the day before they came out with all this inmate tracker, inmate location stuff. You know, so that might have slowed down, but things are still happening. It's still not cool to be in jail.
So now you can look on the internet and track where the inmate is at.
Yeah. Like
when you shoot up when you get a UPS, okay. So before though, you go to the jail and they'll tell your family that you in transfer.
Yeah.
And every time you go to the jail, you in transfer. But 9 times out of 10, they done buried you somewhere. So getting back to Clinton now. We heard stories of them digging up the gym inside the jail. And what happened with that?
Well, the FBI, they pretty much told the war and let them in the jail. And the warden was giving the FBI a hard time. They said, we'll get a tank and blow a hole in this motherfucking wall if y'all don't let us in this jail. You know, so the warden was forced to let him in the jail. But the warden, he was just opening the door for them at first, you know. But like I said, they felt like that was theirs. They felt ruthless. As long as they was in them walls, that was theirs. You couldn't tell them nothing. And it took the FBI to dig up the gym and find these bodies, seeing these skeletons, you know.
So now that the FBI done found hundreds of bodies up under the gym.
No, not hundreds. It was like 17. I counted 17.
17 bodies under the gym floor, and they didn't shut the jail down?
No, they didn't shut the jail down. I think they removed the warden, but other than that, I don't know. Nobody know what was the repercussion, what the consequences was to the warden, and maybe some of them police involved. You know, they kept that to themselves, kept that buried, but they kept the jail running. They not closing that down. You know, this is the same jail where they took money from a well-known gangster, Lucky Luciano, and built a church inside the jail. How that went, how them funds came about, but anybody that been in Clinton, they know this man, a known mobster, gave him money to fund him to build the chapel inside the jail. So that just let you know this history is a history on this jail that a lot of people don't know, and they're not going to put it out there to the public.
So, let me ask you a question. What's like, I done heard some stories. Now, I know about ERU on Rikers Island, but I never really got that full experience of Orange Crush.
I never got the experience of Orange Crush too, but I heard stories, and I heard one thing about them. When they fly in them helicopters, they shut everything down, and the police even got to submit, because when there's a riot or something going on, they don't know if inmates took police uniforms. They don't know no police. They don't know nothing in that jail, so they come in, everybody got to submit. Because if you don't submit, they come in to kill, take control over the jail. And if the police don't obey, I guess they got certain codes and certain things that they would show the Orange Crush or whatever, let them know they police. But until that, they shutting everything down. They stopping all movement, and they not playing. You know what? I never been in the jail where Orange Crush had to come. I've been in riots, but the riots was under control before it got to that point. I never was in a riot where it was inmates against the police. I've been in riots where it's inmates against inmates, whether it's white and black or black and Spanish or this gang or that gang. You know, I've been in that type of situation, but I've never been where we actually went to war with the police.
So what was the worst riot that you witnessed in jail?
That's a question I gotta actually sit and think about. I can't give you the answer right off, you know, not right off head, because you know I did time in the feds, I did time in the state, and like one riot I could say like just off the head, I can't say was this the worst riot or whatever, but when the black and Spanish had war, we went to war in Green, and they kept on running out black dudes and everybody that was black that had a little strength, little power, or whatever, had a name, they were saying automatically, oh, he blood, he did this, he did that, and they was trying to run dudes out of the jail. And I was in Kasaki.
What year was you in Green? Because Lucky Dawn, shout out to Lucky Dawn, he told a story where he was saying that, which we all used to hear when we was on Rikers Island, that black dudes would not get off the bus to go to Green. If you got off the bus, you got tore up. You got off the bus to go to Green?
Yeah, I was in Green for a whole 90 days, you know. Had fun, too. You know.
What year was that you was in Green?
This is 96. This is at the...
Oh, okay.
This is right. Let me tell you something. I was in Kasaki, and a police got cut. Was it one police or two police? I'm not sure how many police got cut in Kasaki, but they cut the police in Kasaki. And they had a lot of people that had medium points in Kasaki, and they were just trying to clean the jail out. They shut the jail down, and they was trying to clear the jail out. So everybody that had medium points, they was sending out, and most of the people went to either Washington or Green. And I was unfortunately one of the dudes that went to Green. So when they brought busloads to Green, and we wasn't having that with the Spanish dudes, because Kasaki's all black, and the Spanish is not living in Kasaki. So when they bring all these black dudes to Green, and there was a problem. My first day there, we set the alarms off. My first day on the walkway, dudes were trying to get at me, but that's a whole nother story. Fast forward, right?
No, we can't fast forward. So what happened on the walkway? Like, why they trying to get at you, though?
Because they said, you know, it was a dude, I ain't saying no name. I snatched his chain on the island, right? And then he got a bigger chain, like, yo, that little chain you snatched, that wasn't nothing. So I snatched that chain too, like, what the fuck? You got a better chain for me to wear? Fuck it. I took that chain too. So now I took both of this dude's chains. So now he's like second in command in Green. So when I get there, he's like, oh, I'm blood. I'm Muslim. Oh, he blood. And he sent everybody that he could at me. And like I said, I just got off the bus and dudes was trying to get at me. Dudes was trying, when they see me with my bag going to J2, you know, I had a couple dudes that helped me down. We up and down, you know, running around, cutting dudes, fighting, doing all type of shit on the walkway. My first day there. But like I said, it was crazy.
So it's safe to say you survived Green. You survived Green.
Yeah, I survived
without getting cut, because dudes was getting sent up out of there.
Nah, but see, I also came with a bunch of dudes that was in the cat. So they was already scared. So like I said, how the riot started, you know, I'm not going to put no names out there, but a certain individual from Brooklyn, official dude, but, you know, they try to say some funny shit about him, but, you know, official dude at the time, he told them, you know what I'm saying, he was Muslim. He used to be 5%. He turned Muslim. He told the Spanish dudes, he sent the message to the Spanish dudes, anything original get touched, we shutting this spot down. And they thought it was a joke. They cut a black dude, and it was alarm from A1, A2, all the way to the back. The police ain't know what to do. We was just cutting, and, you know, we won the war. But they got all those black dudes out of there. We cut so many Spanish dudes, you know, they had dudes outside lined up on the yard gate, and they had the van driving around with people that was witnesses or people that got cut with a white sheet on the window with holes, with eye holes cut out, and they was just driving by everybody slow, every house. They was doing one house at a time, and they had us outside. They was just pointing people out, and you would never see them again, you know. They even put you in a box, say in the Kasaki, say in one of them S blocks. The S blocks is on 200 boxes. They was getting rid of all the blacks. So once they got rid of all the blacks again, everybody that came from Kasaki and more, you know, the Spanish dudes went on taking over the jail. They went and finished doing what they doing. But they got rid of all the problems. They might have went down, some of them might have got cut and stabbed and all that, but, you know, it went back to regular, back to normal for them.
So I got to ask you a question. Was it a Latin King or Nieta thing, or was it just a straight out Spanish thing when you got to Green?
It was more like a Latin King. I was dealing with the Latin King. It's more like a Latin King and a Nieta thing, you know? And it was like they say, whatever you're doing Rikers Island, that should have followed you when you go up north, because they beat you up north. They get up north before you. When you go up north and you done dished up to them, now you got to answer that. They're going to try to get at you because they established you're not.
You know, it's crazy, right? Because there was a situation where there's a kid, I think you know him too, a kid named Iran, and I think it was a kid named Smurf, right? They got into a situation, and the kid Iran took advantage of the kid Smurf. They took advantage of him on Rikers Island. Son went up north first. He up there now with all the dudes from his hood. Twist the son out in that jail. And see, that be the whole key sometimes. When you on Rikers Island and you touching dudes, and them dudes get situated up in the state before you get there, and they run it, and now they with some of the right dudes that's in power, we done seen things change. Some of the things that you do on Rikers Island will catch up to you up north.
Yeah. It ain't easy, man. Like I said, you know, being through certain trials and tribulation, they say once a person been through war, a dude don't want to keep on going through war because anything can happen. You know, you're not going to always get the victories in a war, you know?
Why nobody never tell the story about? Because everybody got the heroic story like they can't be touched. Why they don't never tell a story about when they get to the wrong jail, with all the wrong people and the odds is against them? Why they always skipping through them stories or making it seem like they just held it down by themselves in a whole jail full of ops? It's like the stories that's being painted, I don't get it.
But listen, somebody had to get cut. You see, all these dudes, like 75% of the dudes that I deal with now that been through that, they got cuts on their face, so they couldn't win all the battles, they couldn't win all the wars. If they got a cut on their face, I don't see you winning when you got a scar. When you got a scar, yeah, but I did this, I did that. Did you kill him? If you ain't kill him, you got a scar. Like ain't no glorifying that. That ain't cool, you know. Your kid, you got to explain to your kid when he look, Daddy, how that happened? How you get cut on your face? What you do? You know what I'm saying? You got to explain that. People looking at you and they already stereotyping you. Oh, he got a cut. He was in jail. He must have been in an alley. He must have been upstate. Like, you know, that's ugly, man. We beautiful black men. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to. We ain't no African warriors where we marking our face up on purpose. And we beautiful black men. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. We don't have to put our family through that and explain. And not only explaining, when you first get cut, that mess with your ego, your pride. I'm like, yo, you got this nasty mark in your face. You might have to explain. You looking ugly. You know, your family got to see you. They want to be supportive. Like, don't worry, you be all right. Because they know you feeling down. I don't care how tough you is. You ain't going to get cut in the face and it ain't going to mess with you mentally. You know, some people want to kill themselves. Like, I cut an individual one time, right? And I thought the dude was going to die. And he was just sitting there like, how am I going to go home and tell my family? He's saying this while the blood is just looking out. I can't go home like this. I can't go home. I'm just going to kill myself. I'm like this. Oh, shit. I was my language. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. This dude, he couldn't take that. And I didn't know as a kid the damage I was doing to people. But that's an emotional scar.
So what made you cut that dude right there?
It was over drugs. You know? It was over drugs. You know? Over a little bit of weed in jail. Not even, it's bad because I can't even say it was worth a nickel bag. You know? It was nothing. Like we was marking each other up for nothing, for telephone, for cigarettes, for drugs. You know? It was really that what we was doing to one another, the price we had to pay wasn't even worth it. You know?
So like what's one of your biggest or some of your biggest regrets being in jail? Like,
I'm gonna say, you know, one of my biggest regrets is the lost time, the time that I can't get back. And if I would have knew what I knew now, and I could take it back and start over, I would work around and prevent a lot of things I did, because at the end of the day, I'm a working man, I'm a civilian. I ain't have to go to jail if this was the outcome to get a job. I could have got a job 20 years ago and been successful. But none of the old heads actually taught me this. Yo, get a job, go to school, do the right thing. And at the end of the day, that's what I end up doing. So I'm getting a late start. I got a job. I'm working 60 hours a week. You know, I'm going through, I'm living life as an adult now, as a grown man. And it didn't take me to go to jail to actually come up to this, you know what I'm saying, conclusion.
What inspired you to be in the streets? Like, what was that thing that got you caught up with the gangster persona and it made you go down that dark path that led us to the penitentiary?
It was glorifying the wrong people. Not having the proper leaders. You know, seeing in the height of the crack era, seeing these dudes with big rope chains on, new cars, new clothes, and glorifying that. I wanted that too. You know, and that's what pushed me to go to the streets. You know, because at the end of the day, I might not came from a two-parent home, but my parents, my father, he worked, he gave my mother money, whatever she did, she did. You know, my mother worked, you know, whatever she did with the money she did, but she kept a roof over her head, she kept food in the refrigerator, but I wanted more. And I knew I couldn't ask her for more because she wasn't going to do it. So that pushed me to go to the streets.
Go get it how you live it.
Yeah. It was easy. Then the older dudes, the hustlers, it's like I had a persona about me that they liked me. They come in, shorty, yo, here $1, here $2, here $5, you know what I'm saying? And it started, yo, take this bag over here. You know what I'm saying? Drop this off such down the block. Or take this, you know, and stuff like that. You think you're not doing nothing, but one thing leads to another. You know, so, right, the neighborhood drug dealer, my man, you know. KRS-One couldn't say it better. Love's going to get you. You know?
Right.
But I tell you this, me going through what I went through, and the feds and the state, and seeing what I seen, it got to the point like, I can't do this no more. This ain't cool. First of all, I'm a grown man. I'm in my 30s and 40s, whatever the case may be.
I can't do this no more. What was the point? What jail was you at when you finally realized, like, you know what, this is not for me anymore. I can't. I was in the Fed. I was in the federal penitentiary called Big Sandy. I was up in there, right? And like they had me way in Kentucky. Like 3 or 4 people getting a visit on a weekend. You know, that jail was bad. The inmates was going crazy, mad wars. Like, it was situations that was going down. Like, dudes would get drunk, beat up COs. But back when you beat up a CO, them COs, when they get their get back, they getting their get back. How they get their get back? Because
they going to find out what car you in. Because everybody's a part of something in the feds.
Oh, right. That's the feds, so it's the cars.
Everybody's a part of something in the feds. You just not neutral. It's so bad in the feds that if you feel, oh, I'm neutral, they going to put you with a state, and if you ain't right, you ain't even sitting down in the mess hall. You're going to be standing up eating somewhere in a corner. And they going to be like, oh, his paperwork ain't right, something ain't right with him, and you're not going to last. You're not going to, they're going to run you out the jail, they're going to rob you, they're going to do, you're not going to last.
So basically, if your paperwork ain't right, that means you're a snitch.
Pretty much.
And if they don't give you your paperwork, if you don't have your paperwork, you could be in good standing, but because you don't have that paperwork, dude's gonna run you up out of the jail.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But let me go on. Let me tell you about one situation, right? It was a barber, right? I don't know exactly the whole detail because I didn't deal with the individual, but it was a barber, a situation happened in jail. Dudes owed the barber money, right? So one day, I wasn't in the yard, but I was in the jail. The barber, I don't know, you know, they say the barbers is like the kitchen workers. A lot of things go through their hand. Somehow, 2 dudes ran up on the barber, right? I can't tell you his name. I don't know his name. If I knew, I don't know his name. Anyway, the barber's in the yard. 2 dudes run down on him. They try to either extort him, press him, or whatever the case. He owed him money. I don't know what the story was. But I know the barber dude upped out his knife and started stabbing these 2 dudes up. They dropped the caution, grenade, bomb, whatever you want to call it. They shook everybody up. Everybody know once that happened, get on the floor. But the barber continued on stabbing these 2 dudes up. They shoot the barber. They got the towels in the yard. The yard is already separated, but they shoot the barber. And when the police come to the yard to get the bodies, because the hospital ain't good. They got airlifts in Big Sandy. So a lot of dudes get flown out to the hospital. Long story short, when they was getting the dude that got shot, the lieutenant or the sergeant or whatever, I can't really remember who gave the shot, but they said, no, leave the dude that got shot there and take the other 2 dudes to the clinic that got stabbed. So they left that dude that got shot, that the police shot, they left him in the yard to bleed out. You would think, take the dude that got shot out first and let's see if we can bring him to life. No, they said, no, leave home. Take the 2 dudes that got stabbed. And they let that man die.
So basically what it was is that he was so angry that he wilded out with the knife, but the police was feeling like you disrespected that smoke grenade.
Yeah.
And when they gave him that warning,
you ain't respect that warning, so this you disrespect, you don't respect that warning. That was your warning, you know. And when you see these police in these towers, and if you get a chance to see them going to the towers, they got all these patches, Rifle Association, Disassociation on their uniforms, let you know they're not missing. You know, they've been shooting and sniping things for years. So basically, they wanted everybody in the jail to see. He thought he was tough, but he didn't have to respect their order when they said stop. So they made an example for the next time when niggas get it on. When they let that shot go, that warning shot go, that means lay down. Yo, listen, let me tell you how serious it is. After they did that, when you hear the tower window open, everything stopped. You hear that tower go, shh. You hear that tower window open, everybody's looking up. Everybody's looking up. That tower window open, so they ain't even have to drop no grenade. No, everybody looking up and looking around to see what's going on. That's how serious it is. After they killed that, made that example. So when that window slide open, dude was like, stop it.
So that was the jail where you was like, you know what, this ain't for me no more.
Yeah, it's not. Then you got, like I said, I'm in the jail. I'm in my 30s, my 40s, whatever. I can't remember my age. But now you got these GCOs, they 23, 24, and they acting like they tough, telling you what to do. These are babies to me. You know? And I got to listen to a young man tell me or carry me how he want to get over here. Mad disrespect. You can't say nothing. You got to eat it.
I don't get why. See, this is the stuff that I don't be hearing these dudes talk about. How these COs like, yo, you got a CO that's younger than your son telling you when to go to bed, when you can have tissue, when you can go on a visitor floor, and they're talking to you like you a child and you a grown man. Like, nah. Yeah,
that sounds like, yo, come on, I can't continue on doing this. I can't continue on doing this. This ain't cool. This ain't me. You know what I mean? And when they come like, yo, you might have a CO being sarcastic and tell you, thanks for the new car you brought me. You like, yo, what I mean? What you mean about thanks? I ain't buy you no car.
Yes, you did.
You filling these beds. Your people filling these beds. Yeah. Y'all just brought me a new car. Y'all just brought me a house.
Overtime. They eating off of your pain.
Yeah.
You in the penitentiary, and that penitentiary, them jails that you in, is paying for their livelihood. Like I be telling people, y'all don't understand. You going to jail, it's keeping all them small towns afloat. Upstate New York, there's towns that live off of you going to jail. If you don't go to jail, these towns would starve.
Let me tell you something, right? Auburn is a transit center, but it's also a jail. I've never been in Auburn population, but I've been through the transit. They got Auburn in the middle of the town. They built the jail first and then built the whole town around the jail. And the jail is on Main Street. When the buses is going to take you through the transit and they back up in the jail or whatever the case may be, you see the stores, you see people, you right in the middle of the town. Now, it's not like you in the mountains, in the woods. No, Auburn was built, and they built a town, a whole town around, and that's what kept the town afloat, that jail.
Wow.
Do your research on that one. Anybody, punch up Auburn, upstate New York, and you will see.
So the feds, right? I mean, the feds. I hear there's a difference between the feds and the state. Like, give us a rundown of what to expect when you get to the feds. Like, how does that work when people talk about the trains? And I've heard stories. I've heard stories.
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. You know, this one I knew was real, right? They had me on transit, right? I was going to Oklahoma. The plane flew in the airport, Oklahoma airport, right to the jail. They got an airport. This is how real the feds. They got a jail inside the airport.
Wow.
You never touch the tarmac. You go right off the plane inside the jail.
Wow.
They playing big. They got private jets. Like, you never know what's going to happen when you in the feds. Where they going to send you?
There was a time where you had to really, really, really be into something to go to the feds. Now dudes go to the feds for just about anything. You might find anybody in the feds now. There was a time when you went to the big cats, the big dogs that was getting bread or that was into something really, really big, used to be in the feds.
Well, hold on. They're not used to being in the feds. They still in the feds. Because they ain't let them dudes go.
Right.
Them dudes been in from the 70s, 60s, whenever they started that. Them dudes been in there. You got dudes that been in the feds 30, 40, 50 years.
So who were some of the notorious dudes that we know the names of that you came across in some of these places?
I don't really want to put the names out, you know. But
no, just to say, like, I met this brother in jail, or I came across these brothers in jail, you know, like
when I was in Big Sandy, right?
Like, cause you hear the name Boy George,
yeah,
you hear the name.
He was in Boy George was in Big Sandy. He was in Big Sandy with me, or I was in there with him, however you want to put it. Cause I'm gonna tell you, like, the caliber individuals that was in Big Sandy, they was well-known name brand individuals. When it comes to me, now I'm saying I was a little dude. I was a little dude in there. You know, so I'm not saying I was a man. The state was a little different, but the Feds, you had a different caliber of individuals. You know, you had killers in the Feds, but these killers had a whole bunch of money. And these same killers might not even kill them, but they just had the killer mentality, and they got people killed. So it was a whole different brand of caliber individual in the Feds. You know, so you have to be real careful when you're in the Feds, because you don't want to rub the wrong person wrong, and then you got a missile sent at you, and you never see it coming. It's different. You know, it's different. The caliber is a mental thing. But, you know, in the Feds, like, they try to keep everybody together, you know, as far as who you're a part of, who you running with. And, like, they send you all over the country. They can send you to Puerto Rico. They can send you to Ohio, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. They can send you to California, Texas. They can send you to Florida. They can send you all over the country. They have jail and holding facilities, and, you know, they could put you on a world tour if they want. You piss off the marshals, and they just have you bouncing around for a year or two, and you would never get comfortable.
Wow.
Like I said, it's a mental thing. And it's like, you just, when you get to the Feds, you just want to get somewhere, do your time, and hopefully you can get out. You got a date, you got a number or something like that, and just go on with life. Like, yo, it got to be better than this. Like, the first time I was actually on the plane, you know, it was in the Feds. Before I went to the Feds, I've never been on a plane. I was local. I stayed in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, went to Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. I stayed local. I didn't need a plane to go to none of these places. So the first time I was actually on a plane was in the Feds. It was like, yo, damn. I felt in a way like, yo, the first time I'm on a plane, I'm shackled up, and I'm on a plane, and I'm going. So I said, yo.
And what jail was that they took you to when you got on that plane?
I was on my way to Big Sandy, but I had to stop in Oklahoma, and then from Oklahoma, I had to go to Atlanta. So I flew to Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, they got a training facility. I was held there for a couple of weeks, and then I got on a plane again, and I went to Atlanta, which is a holding facility, a transit facility, but it's also a population. And I stood there for a couple of weeks to take a 14-hour ride or a 12-hour ride from Atlanta to Kentucky to Big Sandy. And it was like, you get a lot of thinking time. And when you're in the cell, and you in the spot like Big Sandy, when that jail's constantly locked down, you in the cell, you get a lot of thinking time, a lot of reading time. And it's like, yo, like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. You know? I can't do this. This is like, this is unreal. This is unreal, man.
So, I'm hearing, right, because of Alpo, D.C. and New York hate each other in the Feds.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I don't know how they feel that Alpo is dead, but they hate New York dudes because of Alpo. And it's not always wars, but, like, it's like we walking on eggshells around each other. As soon as one little thing happens, like, it ain't nothing to talk about. Everybody's on go time. And then you might come to a truce for a little while, but they just waiting for another situation to happen because they can't stand us because of Alpo. With dudes out there glorifying Alpo, but they don't know what we went through. Stand-up dudes in the Feds, they don't know what we went through because of this decision that this man made.
Wow. So because he told on so many dudes, they just blame him. So you would think that there's no rats in D.C.?
There's rats in D.C.
But
Alpo done told on they legends, dudes that they looked up to. He done told on the big dogs. Alpo was a big fish. So he told on the other big fish when he went to D.C. You know? It's like, yo. And he in PC, and he's protected. He's protected. He ain't going through no drama.
So, if you had to tell these young boys, right, what to stay away from, to stay out of trouble, whether it be the state or it be Feds, what to stay away from in jail, to keep you on a, you know what I mean, just out of the drama, what would be your advice to them?
These young boys, first of all, if you put yourself in a situation, you know, and you got to do time, whether it's the state or Fed, the first thing you need to do, I ain't say being a coward, but you need to humble yourself. You need to learn and read all you can. You need to take that time to figure out how you going to better yourself, how you not going to make these same mistakes. And the things you stay away from, they say all the time, stay away from gambling, stay away from the TVs because they nothing but idiot boxes. You know, stay away from the homos and whatever. You don't want to deal with and talk to no snitches. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to befriend too many people. You want to stay mainly to yourself. You want to be respectful. So like I say, you don't want to talk to police if you don't have to, because the police is not your friend. So that's another thing you stay away from. Stay away from the police. Be a man. Be a stand-up man. Don't be a coward. Be stand-up, but don't oppress nobody. And like I said, mind your business. Don't get caught up in the he say, she say stuff. You know, dudes might say, oh, New York dudes are this, New York dudes, like, you know, sometimes you gotta bite your tongue, like, yeah, all right, you know, if that's what you think, you know.
Let me ask you a question. You've been around for a long time. You've been in the feds, you've been in the state, right? He say, she say. I'm glad you used that term. He say, she say. You've been around some of the OGs of the Bloods and different sets. How you think the higher ups that's been around for years of the UBN, how you think they feel about these dudes putting all the blood business on this internet and going through details on gang affiliation, gang culture, and gang business on the internet? I mean, for me, I be puzzled because I remember in the early days when blood started to really, really grow, it was still small. It didn't really hit the streets like that. And in the feds, from so many cuttings and stuff like that, activities happening in jail, the feds were snatching dudes up in the state and in Rikers Island and giving dudes fed bids. So when did it get to the point to where that people start broadcasting who they are, what set they claim, who got faded, who got cut by this one? Like, how, like, I'm puzzled. When did the code of silence become a bullhorn on the internet and it became okay? Like, is this accepted inside the penitentiary, or is because it's no structure in the streets that people could sit up there and actually tell gang business on the internet and get away with it?
Let me tell you this, right? Gang, all this gang stuff, this is all new to the East Coast. New York, New Jersey, whatever the case may be. I don't get caught up in that politics, but I know being in the feds, I know the West Coast gangs, not just Bloods, the West Coast gangs, whether it's Crips, whether it's you know, the Guerrilla family, whether it's Bloods, Crips, whatever, right? It's different. They gang culture. They gang related. They grew up. There's a culture to them. Over here is a game. You know what I'm saying? They want the props, the publicity. They want to be known. You know what I'm saying? And the West Coast is a way of life. So, and the system, they don't get along. They could be Bloods, but if you is an East Coast blood, is a West Coast blood, is a West Coast this and East Coast that, you know, they don't really get along. And there's a whole lot of dislike because what you're saying, the glorifying, the putting everything on the internet. You know, these kids, I can't say kids, these men was actually born in these gangs. Their father was Blood or this or that gang.
Their fathers and their grandfathers,
yeah.
And their right?
There's generations. Right. There's generations. It's just a culture for them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you go to the West Coast, you got the Mexicans as well. It's a culture. And now you got lieutenants, you got COs, and they was born into the gang. That's why I don't know if anybody ever seen that movie, Gang Related. You know, it was something with the gangs and the COs in the jail. And it was a whole lot. I can't really remember.
Blood in, Blood out.
Yeah, it's
American Me. Those are some good joints, right? American Me, Blood in, Blood out. Yeah,
it's a culture. It's a way of life.
So on the West Coast, some of the COs is actually part of the gang too.
Yes.
Ooh, that changes the dynamics right there.
And like I said, they take this serious. Over here, it's like they let anybody in, and it's bad. It's bad, you know. Like I know a few good dudes that's affiliated, but they really don't want to be involved with it. They like, yo, they getting to complaining like, yo, man. They just don't want to drop their flag or whatever the case may be. I don't know I say flag because that's the
That's
word
how
I'm
we came
familiar.
up.
They say your flag, whether you drop your flag, whether you Crip, whether you Blood, whether you like King. But they be like, yo, I've been doing this for so long, and there's no structure, and there's no growth. It's not even a movement no more. So like they just tired of it, you know. It comes a point in time when you're doing it so long and you still stagnating. You know what I'm saying? You're part of the game. They got a movement, but y'all don't own no stores. Y'all don't own no properties. Y'all don't own nothing. Y'all still on these block corners letting these foreigners buying up all the real estate, all the stores. And y'all just continue on spending money in these stores. And y'all don't got nothing. Y'all done been here. Some people done touched hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, and they still don't have nothing. Go ahead.
How would you feel, or what would you have to say if you found out your son was, or your nephews was in a gang? Like, would you want them to be in a gang?
Listen, my son is in a gang, you know, and I'm going to start there. I try to school him and teach him, but the streets pretty much got him. He'll listen to me, and I don't want to put my foot on his neck, which I could, but then I don't want him to hate me. I could take him from that and bring him where I'm at in Pennsylvania, but it's like I have him in prison, you know, and I don't want to do that.
So you gotta have him. You gotta let him walk his path.
Yeah, I try to school him, try to teach him, try to tell him certain things. If it goes in one ear out the other, like, yo, damn, I don't want nothing to happen to him, but I try to show him it's a better way. I'm trying to show you how you can prevent going through what I went through, and you can start right here. Then by the time you get my age, you be 10 times further than where I'm at this age.
So pretty much a lot of his decisions that he made is because you probably was in a penitentiary most of his life.
Yeah, but he wanted like my brothers and certain other people then told him about my history, and that's what he want. He want that. He want me to be the old me. He can't see the new me. He don't see like.
It's like when you watch that movie on Deuce.
Yeah.
OG Bobby Johnson.
OG
Bobby Johnson. So Lil Ray couldn't understand. His father used to be the man. Then when his father came home cleaned up, the better version, he like, nah, he's still expecting his father to be the same ignorant person that destroyed himself in his younger days, and he had to mature through reading books and be around them OGs in jail. Because see, that's something that they don't tell you about too. Like they leave out, man, there's OGs in jails that try to put you on the right path. Everybody ain't just throwing you a knife and sending you on a doja mission. You got brothers in there that ain't never coming home that really do want to see you come home.
Being that you said that, you want to know the funny thing, right? When I went up north, right? Like I said, I'm Muslim. We all know I'm Muslim, you know. So I'm like all the Muslim brothers. I went to Sing Sing, right? And the brother Rasul, I don't like to say name,
I met the brother.
The brother Rasul, he was locked up for
strong
allegedly
brother
killing Malcolm X. He was one of the dudes, some of his co-defendants, he was one of the dudes that was locked up for allegedly killing Malcolm X. He did 33 years. Big black guy. I got to the jail. You couldn't tell me nothing. I'm Wild Bill. You can't tell me nothing. I'm putting work in. I'm still adolescent. I'm the youngest dude in jail. I think I was like 18 or 19. I was 19 at the time, right? Because I had went to the Delta. So I was 19. This dude had some crazy looking Muslim brothers come to my cell once they found out I was Muslim. Brought me down to the masjid, and it wasn't telling me I ain't going to no masjid. I'm looking at these dudes. These dudes is looking like African warriors, chopped up. Now the slab of fat on them. You see muscles and it was crazy. But they came and got me a couple of them. I go to the masjid, right? He like, yo, listen, young blood. You know, because he's an old gangster. He gives me a book to read, right? Read this book. I'm like, yeah. He said, yo, you got a week to read this book. I read the book. Run through it. I read the book or whatever. He like, yeah. So he started questioning about the book. I really couldn't give him answers because I just breezed through the book. He told me, listen, go back to your cell, and I don't want to see you till you read the book and you tell me what this book is about. Pretty much forced me. Well, I'm a gangster, but that's a real gangster. That's a real OG. So even though once I read that book, I read a couple of more books, but then he loosened up on me. I was still doing sneaky stuff on the low. You know, I'm adolescent. I'm still in y'all because I'm in Sing Sing. Everything is going on in Sing Sing. I got a couple of dudes from the hood. But when they be like, yo, I see the Muslim brothers, I ain't going front. I'm like, oh, I'm ducking away like, yo, I'm trying to, you know. They like, yo, there go your brothers. oh, hold on, let me get low. You know, that's what I was doing. I was ducking him, but he was a fishy dude. But this is one of the old timers, old gangsters, original gangsters, and he was trying to educate me. We know you know how to swing your sword. We know you're a warrior, but you need to read. You need to read, get your mental right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't too many brothers throughout my time in the state and in the feds that actually had the heart to tell me to read a book. Yo, you know, you need to sit down and read what they say, what DMX said in one of his skits. Now, you need to go to march or something. You need to go to church or something, you know. It was like a skit on one of DMX records, but, you know, ain't too many individuals had the balls or the courage to tell me, you need to read a book. Yo, here, take this book, young blood, read this. You know, they was just looking at me like, yo, all right, we're going to let him do what he want to do. We're going to let him crash, run into the wall. You know what I'm saying? He'd be all right as long as he don't come my way with it. You know, and those are the cowards. Those are the cowards. But they want to act like that. Those are cowards. Like right now, I tell a dude, yo, you need to read a book. You know, I try to school him, yo, I read this book, I read that, you know what I'm saying? And that'll open your eyes, you know? Because this is what they're not going to tell you to do. They're going to keep you illiterate, keep you stupid, keep you running into that war. Because you know why? Because as long as you're running into that war, throwing rocks at the penitentiary, you're going to provide for them and they family, they kids, they grandkids. You talk about generational wealth, they don't need generational wealth. You give them generational jobs. You know? For 30 years, they got a job for 30 years. Their kids got a job. So, you know, be a dummy. You know what I'm saying? You could be a dummy and let them profit off of your mistakes. Or you can see and educate yourself or be educated and start taking care of you and yours. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, taking care of you and yours. The right way where you don't got to worry about these people putting their foot on your neck, oppressing you. You know? Just like you don't want to oppress nobody or you don't want nobody to oppress you, don't oppress nobody. You know what I'm saying?
So being in jail, right? Do you have any friends in there? Is there people in there that you could trust? Is there a brotherhood in there? Like, you know, is it pretend? Like, what advice do you give somebody, you know, what is it? Like, you know what I mean? Because for me, I feel like when we was in there, we had a brotherhood. There was brothers in there. You were like, yo, that's a good brother. Or is it just a facade with dudes in jail? Was like, all right, we're going to pretend right now at this moment because we in this jail. Like, what you think?
It's an up in the air thing because it could go either way with that. But I ran into some brothers that I was closer to because we done broke bad. I done been with this brother in jail for 2-3 years. We've been eating together. He go through hardships, death in his family, lost a woman, or whatever. We done been through this together. You know, and that bond is so tight. You know, I got people that I ain't talked to in years. But when I call their number, or they call my number, we going to pick up everything all right, you good, how's the family? Automatic, that bond is there because we've been through the struggle together. You're going to have some fake ones from here and there, you know what I'm saying? But if you can't, how could I can't say read a person, but if you've been around an individual for 2-3 years in a closed environment like the penitentiary, and you can't read him and know what he's about, and see certain things, how he take care of his family, how he move, you don't see certain signs, you know what I'm saying? That's on you, because this is something you should learn being on the street, being in the penitentiary. This is something you should learn, people. Because the only thing you got is time to look and see how people move. You hear the stories, you know what it's about, but like I said, the bond, I got a good bond with a whole lot of official dudes. Right. You know, so you could get love. Like I said, we there for each other when our families are not there.
So if you had to pick between the state and the feds, which one would you like what bid? Not saying that we want to be in any one, but if you had to choose between the state and the feds, which one would you rather go to?
Like, that's hard to say because I had good times in the state and bad times in the state, and I had the same thing in the feds, good times and bad times, you know, in both places. So it's like, it all depends on the person who you are. It all depends the spots they send you to. You know, so, like jail, you shouldn't want to be in jail regardless, period, you know. So, you know, you got to make the best of your situation.
You ever hit a jail, and when you got in that jail, you was like, this is just the wrong jail for me. Like, I'm outnumbered, and this is like, yo, I don't know how I'm going to make it. You ever had that moment where you feel like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this one right here?
Yeah, there's a few jails. There was a few jails, the feds and the state. There was a few jails that was like, shh. Like, damn, how did I get myself in this situation? State jails, fed jails, you know.
So how did you make it out? Like, how did you overcome the moments? It was like,
Some was mental. Where I got to be smart. I can't play checkers right now. I got to play chess. You know. Some jails you just got to just do your thing and get up out of there. You know, and just, I'd rather do a year, 18 months in a box than to get cut or get stabbed and be put in palm box. You don't know what happened. You know, so it's like the decisions you make, you got to figure out. You got to know what you can withstand as a man. You know, I'm going to let somebody do something to me or I'm going to do something to somebody.
Move first.
You know?
And hope that the COs get there in time before you get jumped.
Yeah, well, if you set it off first, and like, it was, you could call it what you want to call it. It was times that I set it off, and I could have probably got away with it, but I didn't want to get away with it. You know, meaning that I could cut this dude and stab the dude and slide off, and I'm good. You know, I'm not gonna get caught, but that leaves you behind to still, because the war ain't over. You just want to fight. That's a battle, but the war's not over. So now you done got away with it, but now you got to deal with his people. But you got his more, so you might as well. So you know what? I'm gonna jump on this dude and I'm gonna cut him, stab him. I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing until the police come, because now I know I'm out of there. So you can call that what you want to call it. You know what I mean? But it ain't meant for me to get away. I don't want it. I don't want to stay here.
So, you know, a lot of the times people don't realize in the early days of Rikers Island, and I'm hearing in the state and the feds too, depending on where you at. You ever had a situation where the police whooped you out?
I done got beat up so many times. I got beat up on Rikers Island. I got beat up upstate a couple of times. In the feds, the police never touched me. I never put myself in that situation where the police had to put hands on me. But I got my ass whipped bad.
To the point where you was crying for your mama, right? Let's hear about that. Because they don't want to talk about that. Let's hear about those beat downs.
Let me tell you something. I put my hands on police, right? I put my hands on police. That was the wrong thing to do. I put my hands on police, and it ain't even like I beat them down. You know, I mistaken him for another inmate because the police grabbed my shoulder, and when I snatched away from him, I didn't know that was police, and he just like swung on me. So off instinct, I turned around, I swung on him like, oh, but it was too late. I was already swinging. So, you know, a couple swings was blown. I hit him a couple of times, you know. I was stronger than him, so he dropped, but he already hit the alarm. So when they came, they didn't beat me up right then and there, but when they got into the box, it was a whole nother story. They stripped me out. They had me on the wall. They started giving me body shots and all that. So I curled, hit the floor. All right. They beat me up a little more. They dragged me, threw me in the cell. I only had on my boxes. No socks, no nothing, just my boxes. I wasn't completely naked. I had on my boxes.
Was the cell cold?
Hell yeah, the cell was cold. You know? They put me in the cell, and for the next, it felt like eternity, but for the next couple of days, every time the shift changed, the police was putting hands on me. And if you know anything about the state, all of them have sticks. Every police have sticks in
the metal pole in the middle,
yeah,
so they don't break.
Metal rod and all that. So, you know, they would crack my cell. They'd make their rounds, do the count, and then my cell would just crack. They'd run with my cell like 4 deep, 5 deep, and they'd just start pounding on me. I grabbed the mattress and put it on the bed. They hit me. I ain't gonna front. Yeah, it hurted, but the way I was screaming, the way I was screaming like they was killing me. Yeah, it hurt, but I was screaming because that was the only way I was going to get them to stop. And the other inmates was in there on their gates. Y'all leave them alone. Y'all gonna kill them. And they was beating me. And they was beating me. You know, I'm telling this story right now. My mama don't even know this story. And they did it every shift. 3 times and within 24 hours, the 3 shifts for a couple of days. So all of them got they so-called gripe off or whatever you want to call it, till they felt confident, yeah, he know not to do it again. He know not to do it again. So they did that to me. And, you know, I was more in shape because in the state you got a lot of weight. I was in shape, so when they beat me, they really ain't really hurt me like that where I need medical attention. But I had knots and bruises and sore ribs and sore back because they hit me and they stabbed me. They poked me with the stick. They hit me like if they pull my leg out and they hit me, whacking me with the stick. Now I got Charlie horses on.
Hold up. See, what y'all missing, right? If y'all really paying attention to the story, they had a hard time really whooping him out.
Because he
was under the bed.
Under the bed.
He was pulling, like when my mother used to come with the stitching cord, I went up under the bed. So she used to have to try to get me from up under the bed. He was hiding up under the bed trying to get away from them sticks. So just imagine if they would have caught him not being on the bed with those sticks. It would have been crazy.
I'm trying to hold a mattress and hold the bed. I'm trying to hold a mattress and hold on to the bed so they don't pull me from up under it. And they just hitting me, beating me over and over again. You know?
Wow. Wow. So how long it took you to heal from that on beat down?
Well, I think they gave me like 6 months in the box. So I think it took me all of the 6 months to heal. You know?
How long?
It took a long time.
How long before they gave you a blanket?
I don't even know. They actually respected me because every time the medical, they make their rounds, medical make their rounds and ask everybody all right. And I just say, yo, I'm good. I'm good. So I didn't tell about the asthma, but they knew if I'd have told, they wasn't going to do nothing anyway. You know, so I just took it. Like, yo.
Oh, they said, okay, he stood tall. But the truth of the matter is, man, he got over lucky because I can tell you right now, I know a lot of cats, when they got beat down, there's 2 things that the COs go for when they beat you down.
Your teeth. They
your
try to kick your teeth out.
And your balls.
Yep.
They kicking you in both. So, you know, he came home with the gold teeth still in his mouth. But a lot of dudes was losing teeth, messing around with them cats. So, I mean, so now, when you was in there, like, did you have a lot of people coming to see you? Was your friends holding your son down or your wife down like, yo, here, I got this for you?
No. No, not at all. Not at all. My wife used to come see me. She was holding me down. I was making moves in there, hustling, because I got that within me, making things happen, and I was taking care of my family. You know, nobody took care of me. Nobody took care of my family. And I put in major work for dudes in the street, you know, and you would expect them to do what they were supposed to do. These dudes had blocks and neighborhoods, and they was getting good money, but they just didn't care. I was just a...
So, you in jail, you'd have put in work for dudes in the street, made it safe for them out there. You go to jail, and these dudes that's running blocks wouldn't even buy your kid a box of Pampers.
Nothing. Nothing.
So now all these dudes will be sitting up there screaming, free my nigga, but won't even send you no commissary.
Not at all. Like, it took a lot for me to come home and not do nothing to them. It took a lot. A lot. And it hurted. Being loyal to dudes, it hurted. And they wasn't loyal to me.
So it's safe to say that the streets don't love nobody.
Yeah, I just moved on with life. I just left them behind. You know, and they felt the way when I come through the hood and I don't stop by and holler at them or deal with them. But they heard I was over here, I was over there, I was dealing with this person, that person. I had outside dudes. Let me tell you, it was a situation where I can't say it's my co-defendants people. It's a whole nother story, but one of my co-defendants from the feds, peoples came through, right? And I looked out for them. And on the strength I looked out for them, you know, they were from the hood. His people made sure I was good. And they wasn't supposed to make sure I was good. You know, I wasn't getting no money with them at the time. But being that I looked out for when they made their man safe in jail, the only thing I had to do when I really needed something is reach out to them. They had me. You know?
But your own people didn't have you.
My own people ain't had me.
But if you would have got caught for some of the things that you did for some of these dudes in the street, you might not be sitting here right now. But them same dudes, when you go to jail,
they turn their back on me.
Like it ain't nothing. But now, life after jail.
I'm doing better than these dudes that been on the block for 20, 30 years.
Life after jail. So, it's safe to say Since the last time we've been sitting here, you done bought a house, huh?
Yeah, I done bought a house.
How you feel? How does it feel? How does it feel?
The respect I get from the banks, the law, every is a whole different respect. No, I'm not on the streets. I'm a civilian. I'm still in the process of putting my house together, putting my family together.
Oh, hold on. You not a real nigga?
Real nigga. What's a real nigga? I'm a king.
You not a real nigga?
No, I'm not a real nigga.
You know what I mean? You not gangster but woke?
Huh.
He's a working man. Come home. Go to work. Work overtime. See this right here, right? See, this is the picture that I want y'all to get, right? Yo, he's a terror. Let me tell you, this is Chucky right here. He's a terror. That candy keeping him cool. Wait till that candy go. He's a terror. But this is the picture. You see what you got right here? How little man sit right here. You see how little man right there? Yeah.
Fight. Look.
Little man right here. This is what we do now. Like when dudes be, oh, you ain't outside. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to.
Where we go, DJ? Where we go? Where I take you?
Go park.
He want to park. He want to go to park.
I don't like when you have responsibilities, right? When you got responsibilities and you become a man, not a real nigga, when you become a man, there's an obligation that says home. I can't do what you do. I can't always be outside on a street corner because I gotta go home. And when you go outside on those street corners, there's a good possibility that you won't make it back home. Yeah. So now,
yeah, right. So I gotta come home. I gotta come home to DJ, right?
So the mistakes that you made, like with your first son, at what age you went to jail on him? How old was he when you went to jail?
He was in her stomach.
You wasn't even there to see him born.
Nope.
How did that make you feel? Yeah, tell the doggy shut up. That's right, shut up. So how did that make you feel like, yo, you wasn't even...
That make you feel less than a man when you can't be there for any of your kids. Firstborn, last, any of your kids. You know? When you can't be there for them.
Oh, but that's the stuff that y'all cats leave out because you glorify jail like it's a badge of honor, but you never tell the story about how you abandoned your children in the streets. So now, with his second little boy, you see what he's doing? He's here with him. And when he's not here with him, he made sure he went out to go get a home, to leave to his sons. See, this is what grown men do, and this is the message, right? Because life after prison is what I want y'all to understand. This is the road that we on. We'll give y'all some stories to let y'all know what happened and how it goes down in the penitentiary. But at the same time, we want y'all to understand, after prison, 20 years, some of these dudes, man, they came home, you home from jail. 20 years later, 10 years later, all you have in your conversation is jail. Right now, I'm a homeowner, right? He's a new homeowner. We both been in jail under some of the worst situations. He's been in jail for murder. I've been in jail for murder. We've both been in jail together. For those of y'all that be sitting up there listening to these cats, Haas ain't never know we was in jail together. And it wasn't pretty. In the beginning of when Bloods started. Not at the height. And when it started and you had to get busy. When you went to certain houses and you got cut. When you got cut. It was you blood. You was Muslim. You was 5%er. All you had to do was be black. They was going to label you as blood. You had to overcome that. Now we here. How that song go? Started from the bottom. Now we here. Started from the bottom. Now my whole team is here, right? That's Dad? That's Dad right there, right? Mama. Mama not playing with you, boy. Nope. This is what we doing now. So, how does it feel to bust your ass on a 9 to 5 and don't get no days off?
Tiresome. It take a lot, you know. And I be wanting to walk away, but I can't because of him. Because with my plan, my goals, I'm trying to do with life, you know? So I have to do this.
So if somebody come to you and say, yo, Bill, I got 20 bricks. Right now, let's get rid of them. Is it the job or the 20 bricks?
It's a job, man. You know? Because I'm worth more than 20 bricks. You know?
Life after jail, meaning that we don't want to go back to jail. And see, what I want y'all to understand is, right? Don't get it twisted. When it comes to protecting man, woman, and child, you violate that, you gonna get the monster. It's like when David Banner told you, you ain't gonna like me when I get angry. Don't make me angry.
Said, I'm always angry. He also said that.
Right.
They said, do what you gotta do to turn green. Get mad at something. He said, I'm always mad. I'm always angry. You know? But that's something that'd be within any official individual. You know, they just know how to tame the beast. And that's what it's about. I use my energy towards him. He's a lot of energy.
A lot of energy.
And when I drive back home, he's going to get a nap. I'm not. And he's going to be on his second wind when I get home. And he's not going to let me sleep.
I want to ask y'all dudes out there watching us on this camera. I just want to ask you something.
Look, he eating candy.
Why is it not popular, right?
Yeah.
Being a father, right? In some cases, as long as you ain't got a foul baby mother, being a father is one of the best feelings in the world. When you got a child that loves you, when you love your child back, why y'all dudes don't post pictures up with your kids?
Because they scared. They gonna front like they got beef. And I tell you, anybody trying to harm mine, they see my anybody trying to harm mine, I lose everything.
You know the crazy
part? Guess what they gonna lose?
Our era though, we have respect, man. We see a dude with their kids, we let them go. I catch you next time. This new generation on that, but we gonna be those dudes, man, that you see that came from jail. We gonna make it cool for grown men to be daddies. Some of you dudes is granddaddies. You ain't spending no time with your kids or your grandkids. Let's get to that. But anyway, this is just part one of our rant. You know what I mean? We up again. Hopefully the next time, one of the next times you see us get together, if it ain't for our party, October 29th, we gonna have
we almost done.
T-Mac birthday party / meet and greet Hassan Campbell. Wild Bill be in the building. There's gonna be a lot of people in the building. Y'all come out and y'all meet us at the garage in the Bronx, October 29th. It is what it is, man. Bill, you got anything you want to say to the people?
Peace and blessings to all the brothers out there, all the fathers, all the kings. You know, it can be done. We can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's start standing together for our youth. You know? Be the fathers, be the better man, the great leaders that's within us. Let's make it happen. Peace, salam alaikum to all the brothers and the youth. They need to step up and start listening.
Let me tell you something, man. A good TV show, a good wife, some good food in the house. Stay out of the streets. It's safe to say it ain't safe outside, man. Idle time is the devil's playground. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Every time somebody's released out of a jail, somebody takes their place. Every time somebody's released out of jail, that open bed becomes somebody else's bed. Make sure that bed don't become your bed, man. Put God first and everything else comes behind that. Peace and love. Pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. We got to cut this short because little man got to get ready to go to bed. Right?
Say
Tell everybody peace. Say peace.
Peace. Peace.
Shut up. We out.